Hello, dear students. My name is Supriya Mugle. I'm working as an assistant professor at Center for Distance Education, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. I'm here to discuss about one very interesting topic of human resource management, that is compensation management. So we'll see the concept of compensation management. First, we'll see what is compensation. Compensation is referred as money and other benefits received is associated with employee service. Okay, once a right candidate is placed on the right job, he needs to be duly compensated for the job he performs. Different tools are there in the organization to be valued to determine their relative worth so that jobs are compensated accordingly. So in this video we'll discuss different constituents of the compensation. So the next concept is wages and salaries. Okay, please don't get confused about wages and salaries. You should know the difference between wages and salaries. Wages means payment for labor or services to a worker, especially remuneration on the basis of hours basis, daily or weekly basis, or by piece. Means a worker gets payment on the basis of hours basis, how much he has worked, what time means suppose 2 hours, 3 hours. If he work for 1 hour, he will get 50 rupees. So that is hours basis. Daily basis per day, weekly basis per week, or by piece. By piece means how many pieces he has manufactured in one day. So on that basis he gets remuneration. Then salary. What is salary? Salary is fixed regular compensation paid for services rendered involving professional knowledge and skills. Okay. That means wages are given to the workers, also called as blue collar. Okay, blue collar. And salary is given to the executives, that is white collar. The next is purpose and goals of compensation. What are the different goals of compensation? First is acquire qualified personnel. Acquired qualified personnel means compensation needs to be high enough to attract aspirants. Pay levels must be respond to supply and demand of workers in the labor market since employees compete for the workers. Premium wages are sometimes needed to attract applicants who are already working to others. So that is acquire qualified personnel. Personnel. Please read this spelling personnel. Personal and personnel are two different words. Personal means as we use it's my personal, so that is personal, and personnel means workers, double and el, that means workers. So we should have qualified personnel in the company. Then next is retain present employees. Okay, you have to retain your employees. They should not left the job and they should not go to the other competitors. So you have to retain. So how will you retain your present employees? By using compensation. Then ensure equity. Equity means equity, that is similar pay for similar work. Compensation management strives for internal and external equity. There are two types, internal and external. Internal means pay related to the relative worth of jobs, so that similar jobs get similar pay. Suppose there is one woman and one man and both are working for the same hours, both are working at the same post, but woman is getting low payment and the man is getting high payment. So this is not acceptable. You should have equity. Means if suppose two people are working same job responsibility, same post, same working hours, then you have to pay similar pay to them. Then what is external? External means paying workers what comparable workers at the other firms in the labor market pay. Means there are competitors in the market. Suppose I am producing one soap and other company is also producing one similar soap, and I am paying 5,000 to that employee, and the competitors are paying 7,000 to that employer per month. So you should you should not use this amount. You should have market survey what are others are paying. Okay, when we hire some people in our company, employees are also aware about the competitor's salary. Okay, so you should have equity payment. Then reward desirable behavior. Okay, pay should be reinforce desired behaviors and acts as an incentive for those behaviors to occur in the future. Means effective compensation plans reward performance, loyalty, experience, responsibilities, and other behaviors. Then control cost. What is controlled cost? A rational compensation system helps the organization to obtain and retain the workers at a reasonable cost. Okay, that means suppose if you have not effective compensation policy, okay, means employees can be underpaid or overpaid. So it should not be overpaid also, and it should not be underpaid also. So you have to have controlled cost. You have to have balance between that payment. Then comply with legal regulations. So what is legal regulation? A sound wage and salary system considers the legal challenges imposed by government and ensures the employer compliance. Then next is facilitate understanding. System should be easily understood by human response specialists, operating managers, and employees. So facilitate the understanding is a goal of compensation. The next is types of compensation. What are the different types of compensation we have to give to the workers or employees? The first is basic salary and wages. Okay, it represents the level of skill and experience of an individual has. It differs for different levels of grade in the organization. Basic pay is subject to the statutory requirement as to the minimum wage. Okay, time to time increase in the salary and wages of employees should be done, and this increase should be based on the employee's performance and his contribution to the organization. So it is very important point. Basic salary and wages you have to give for that worker, but there should be time to time increase in the salary, because it is very important to have increment in the salary. Then only worker will work effectively and efficiently. But this increase should be based on employees performance. You have to check or you have to measure his performance, and on that basis you will increase his salary. The next is dear miss allowance. Dear miss allowance means employees and workers have to face the price increase or inflation. Okay, if suppose there is inflation in the market and employees are not able to cope up with that inflation, so to cope up with that inflation you have to give dearness allowances, so that workers can bear on that living conditions of the labor. Then the next is allowances for different purposes. Allowances, so first is house rent allowance. This is paid to compensate the employees for their rented accommodation. This allowance is given to help the employees to pay for the rent of their residential accommodation. And the amount of HRA is HRMS human rent allowances is depend on the grade of the employee, and it is not necessarily equal to the rent paid by the employees. Actually the rate or the percentage of house rent is dependent on the population of the city. Okay, so City wise it is different. Then city compensation allowances. It means the cost of living is different in different cities, and depending upon the size and population of the city, the cost of living in big cities is higher as compared to the smaller cities. So on that basis the compensate your employees. Then next is conveyance allowance. Conveyance allowance means the allowance given by the employer to the employee for meeting the conveyance expenses in connection with the performance of his duties in respect of his employment. Then next is overtime. Okay, overtime is really very important part of your compensation. If a worker is working extra, then you have to pay as per their hours. Okay, this payment is made for meeting the pressure of workload. Overtime's rates are double the normal wages. You have to remember this. Double the normal wages rates when a worker is done on holidays, or suppose person is working for 8 hours and one day he has to work 2 hours extra, so you have to give double the rate. Then next is some other benefits. Some other benefit, first is bonus. Bonus means it is an extra payment to the workers beyond the normal wage. So the government appointed the bonus commission in December 1961 because persisting demands made by the employees and the trade unions. Okay. So what it tells, bonus is a right of the worker as the worker has shared the prosperity of the company. That means employer has to give bonus to the employees. He cannot say that this time I cannot give you the bonus, it is not affordable for me. No, you have to give the bonus to the employees. Then fringe benefit. Fringe benefit means the provision of fringe benefits does not attract any explanation. These include monetary and non-monetary benefits provided by the employer for the benefit of the employees. Okay, means company cars, paid vacations, membership of some social clubs, and entertainment tickets or discount in travel tickets, family vacation packages. So these are the fringe benefits. Why we have to give this to employees? We have to satisfy the employees, we have to retain those employees, and when we give these type of benefits and allowances, they will get motivated, they will work very effectively and efficiently, and it is ultimately affect on your productivity. Okay, then the next is reimbursement. Employees, depending upon their gradation in the organization, may get reimbursement based on the expenses incurred and subtended. Some examples of reimbursements are travel expenses, entertainment expenses, out-of-pocket expenses, or refreshment expenses during the routine office work outside office premises, etc. It may include the sickness benefit also. Sickness benefit means increasing social consciousness of corporates has resulted in the payment of sickness benefit to the employees of companies. Okay, this also includes payment during pregnancy of women employees, or the expenses incurred due to injury or illness are compensated to the employees. So this is called sickness benefit. What is profit sharing payments? Profit sharing payments means Profit sharing payments means this can be paid through payments of cash or through shared allotment. The structuring of wages may be done in such a way that it attracts competitiveness and improved productivity. Profit sharing can also be in the form of deferred compensation at the time of retirement. At the time of retirement, the employees may be paid a lump sum or other retired benefits. So these are some types of compensation. I hope you understood. The next is components of compensation system. So what are these components? Components means how you are going to plan your compensation system. Employees as fair is based on systematic components will perceive compensation. Various compensation systems have developed to determine the value of positions. So these systems utilize many similar components including job descriptions, salary ranges structure and return procedures. The components of compensation system includes job description. Job description means description about your jobs. Okay, what are your responsibilities, what are your functions, duties, your location, your working conditions, environment, all other aspects related to job. So description may be developed for job individually or for the entire job families. Typically job description are used especially for advertising to fill an open position and determining compensation and as the basis of performance reviews. Then the next is job analysis. So what is job analysis? It is the process of analyzing the jobs from which job descriptions are developed. Job analysis is technique included to use the interview, questionnaire and observation, and it can be used in compensation to identify or to determine the skill levels or compensable job factors, work environment like physical effort or hazardous or attention job. For example, a person is working on hazardous position, so he should compensate higher. Or a person is working for physical effort, so as per that basis they have to compensate. Or responsibilities, what type of responsibilities he is having, on that basis you can give the compensation to that employees. Or required level of education, what type of education he is having, on that basis you can give the compensation to them. Job evaluation. So what is job evaluation? I'll give you one example. Okay, in my company I want accountant. So I will list out what type of person I want, okay, for this post. So I will say that the person should be a BCom graduate. He should know all the banking transactions. He should aware about the Tally software, how to use it. And his age should be between suppose 25 to 35. So I'm listing out my requirements for that post, not that person. Okay, for that post, what are the responsibilities I'm going to give. So these are called job evaluation. It is a practical technique designed to enable trained and experienced staff to judge the size of one job relative to others. So here you can compare one job to other job. Okay, here is one accountant and one finance manager, suppose. Okay, so we'll list out the accountant's responsibility and finance manager's responsibility, and on that basis you are going to pay them. Obviously accountant will get the low salary because he has not that much responsibility as finance manager has. So finance manager will get high compensation. Then pay structure. A company's pay structure is a method of administering its pay philosophy. Pay structures are the strong determinants of employees' value in the organization. It helps in analyzing the employee's role and status in the organization. It provides for fair treatment to all the employees, and pay structure also includes estimation of incentives. The next is salary surveys. Conditions of salary and market data. So it is salary surveys means salary and market data. You have to collect the data related to this. It may include average salaries or inflation indicators or cost of living indicators or salary budget averages. So on that basis you are going to have a survey and you will have a proper compensation system. Companies may purchase the result of surveys conducted by survey vendors, or they may conduct their own salary surveys. When purchasing the resulting of salary surveys, they will get the other vendors. But note that surveys may be conducted within a specific industry or across industries, as well as within one geographical region or across different geographical region. Know which industry or geographical location the salary results pertain to before comparing the result to your company. So these are some components of compensation system. So I hope you understood the concept, and you have to remember some terms in this, like what is wages, what is salary, what are the different allowances are provided to the employees. So these are some important terms you have to understood. I hope you cleared the concept of compensation management. Thank you so much.